I'm Danielle and this is Bookchara, and today I'm going to be doing a These Books Will Self-Destruct in 12 Months video. If you haven't seen something like this before, I perused my bookshelves. I chose 10 books that have been sitting there gathering dust, and I am basically giving myself 12 months to read these books or I am going to unhaul them. So let me jump right into the books that I've chosen. First, we've got Dear Edward by Ann Napolitano. This book has an average rating of 4.10 stars on Goodreads. This is a contemporary fiction novel originally published in January of 2020. And real quickly, I'm going to read the inside flap. It says, one summer morning, 12-year-old Edward Adler, his beloved older brother, his parents, and 183 other passengers board a flight in Newark headed for Los Angeles. Among them are a Wall Street wonder kid, a young woman coming to terms with an unexpected pregnancy, an injured veteran returning from Afghanistan, a business tycoon, and a free-spirited woman running away from her controlling husband. Halfway across the country, the plane crashes. Edward is the sole survivor. Edward's story captures the attention of the nation, but he struggles to find a place in a world without his family. He continues to feel that a part of himself has been left in the sky, forever tied to the plane and all of his fellow passengers. But then he makes an unexpected discovery, one that will lead him to the answers of some of life's most profound questions. When you've lost everything, how do you find the strength to put one foot in front of the other? How do you learn to feel safe again? How do you find meaning in your life? Dear Edward is at once a transcendent coming-of-age story, a multi-dimensional portrait of an unforgettable cast of characters, and a breathtaking illustration of all the ways a broken heart learns to love again. So I think I saw this book just everywhere on especially Bookstagram when it first came out. I was like, I need to read that too, and I just haven't. So this one has made it onto the self-destruct list. Next, we've got The Fisherman by Larry Huntsberger. This one has an average rating on Goodreads of 4.37. I think I originally picked this one up at a library used book sale. This is Christian fiction and it was published in 2003. When I picked this book up, I did so because it reminded me a lot of a novel that I read by Katrina D. Hamel, and that was called Dividing Swords. I really, really loved that one, and I was hoping I might love this one just as much. The inside flap says, Simon, a fisherman, works hard to provide for his family and dreams about expanding his business. He lives an ordered and predictable life until one fateful day when he meets a man who will change everything. In this spellbinding first-person account of a rugged fisherman turned follower, you'll experience the gospel story anew through Simon Peter's keen eyes. The miracles, the trial, the tragedy, and the triumph, those familiar stories come alive as never before. With sincerity, humor, and faithfulness to scriptures, talented author Larry Huntsberger takes you along a gritty spiritual journey you will not soon forget. So again, we'll see if I can work this one onto my TBR and actually read it so I don't have to unhaul it. Next, we've got The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman. This one has an average rating of 4.02 stars on Goodreads. This is historical fiction and was published in July of 2012. Haley at Backpacking Bookworm on Instagram did a hashtag ISO Travel Challenge 2020 back in June of 2020, and I'm pretty sure that's when I picked this one up. The inside flap says, after 4 harrowing years on the Western Front, Tom Shelbourne returns to Australia and takes a job as the lighthouse keeper on Janus Rock, nearly half a day's journey from the coast. To this isolated island, where the supply boat comes once a season and shore leaves are granted every other year at best, Tom brings a young, bold, and loving wife, Isabel. Years later, after 2 miscarriages and 1 stillbirth, the grieving Isabel hears a baby's cries on the wind. A boat has washed up on shore, carrying a dead man and a living baby. Tom, whose records as a lighthouse keeper are meticulous and whose moral principles have withstood a horrific war, wants to report the man, an infant, immediately, but Isabel has taken the tiny baby to her breast. Against Tom's judgment, they claim her as their own and name her Lucy. When she is 2, Tom and Isabel return to the mainland and are reminded that there are other people in the world. Their choice has devastated one of them. M.L. Stedman's mesmerizing, beautifully written novel seduces us into accommodating Isabel's decision to keep this gift from God, and we are swept into a story about extraordinarily compelling characters seeking to find their North Star in a world where there is no right answer, where justice for one person is another's tragic loss. The Light Between Oceans is exquisite and unforgettable, a deeply moving novel. And I do like how the inside of this looks like a lighthouse keeper's log. Anyway, and I'm going to ask you guys this at the end of the video, but be considering which one of these you think I need to absolutely make priority. And I just say that because in reading about these books and preparing for this video, I really found, like, I rediscovered why I chose some of these books in the first place, and I'm actually sad I haven't gotten to some of them. So yeah, I'm going to be looking for your opinions. Next, we've got Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This one has an average rating of 4.09 on Goodreads and is classified under contemporary fiction, was published in March of 2020. And I believe this has been made into a miniseries that you can watch on Hulu. I have not watched the miniseries. The inside flap says, in Shaker Heights, a placid, progressive suburb of Cleveland, everything is planned, from the layout of the winding roads to the colors of the houses to the successful lives its residents will go on to lead. And no one embodies the spirit more than Elena Richardson, whose guiding principle is playing by the rules. Enter Mia Warren, an enigmatic artist and single mother who arrives in this idyllic bubble with her teenage daughter Pearl and rents a house from the Richardsons. Soon Mia and Pearl become more than tenants. All four Richardson children are drawn to the mother-daughter pair, but Mia carries with her a mysterious past and a disregard for the status quo that threatens to upend this carefully ordered community. When old family friends of the Richardsons attempt to adopt a Chinese-American baby, a custody battle erupts that dramatically divides the town and puts Mia and Elena on opposing sides. Suspicious of Mia and her motives, Elena is determined to uncover the secrets in Mia's past. But her obsession will come at unexpected and devastating cost. Little Fires Everywhere explores the weight of secrets, the nature of art and identity, and the ferocious pull of motherhood, and the danger of believing that following the rules can avert disaster. Next, we've got The Tale of Hilltop Farm by Susan Wittig Albert. This is book 1 in a series called The Cottage Tales of Beatrix Potter. This book has an average rating of 3.90 on Goodreads. When I picked this book up at one of my library's used book sales, I mistakenly thought that this was a middle grade book. However, and I'm going to read from my notes here for a second, this is actually a mystery series for all ages featuring the beloved author and illustrator of, I didn't finish my sentence here, but of Peter Rabbit, Beatrix Potter. The inside flap says, and I thought this could be maybe historical fiction too. It says, in 1905 England, it was most unusual, if not outright scandalous, for an unmarried woman to buy and run a farm. But that's exactly what Beatrix Potter sets out to do when she purchases Hilltop Farm in the Lake District hamlet of near Surrey. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's Sawrey. Looks like sorry. Beatrix, trying to recover from her sorrow at the death of her fiancé, believes that the countryside will have a healing effect, while providing a quiet place for her to work on her sketches and stories for children. But when one of the villagers dies unexpectedly, with allegations of foul play, Surrey turns out to be anything but quiet. Some villagers meet Beatrix with genuine warmth, others keep her at arm's length. After all, she is a Londoner, a female Londoner, used to city living, but soon enough, Beatrix makes herself useful. She reads aloud to the school children, and when the parish registry goes missing, she won't rest until it's found. So yeah, maybe even like cozy mystery. I honestly do not know what this thing should be classified under. I think of all the 10 books, this is one of the ones I'm less excited about picking up, but that's just because I have a bad track record with cozy mysteries. So if you know for a fact that this is going to be great, please let me know. Next, we've got Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. This one has an average rating on Goodreads of 4.49. I think, I'm just pulling this out of my memory, but I think there were over 200,000 ratings, something like that. This is Christian fiction and was originally published in 1991. The back says, California's Gold Country, 1850. So another one that could be historical fiction, I think. A time when men sold their souls for a bag of gold and women sold their bodies for a place to sleep. Angel expects nothing from men but betrayal. Sold into prostitution as a child, she survives by keeping her hatred alive. And what she hates most are the men who use her, leaving her empty and dead inside. Then she meets Michael Hosea, a man who seeks his father's heart in everything. Michael obeys God's call to marry Angel and to love her unconditionally. Slowly, day by day, he defies Angel's every bitter expectation until, despite her resistance, her frozen heart begins to thaw. But with her unexpected softening come overwhelming feelings of unworthiness and fear. And so Angel runs, back to the darkness, away from her husband's pursuing love. Terrified of the truth she no longer can deny, her final healing must come from the one who loves her even more than Michael does, the one who will never let her go. A powerful retelling of the book of Hosea, Redeeming Love is a life-changing story of God's unconditional, redemptive, all-consuming love. So yeah, this is one I've been meaning to read for a really long time. This would probably be a good one to read maybe in like February as like a romance love book. The size of this book I think has thrown me off a little bit. And like I've read longer, so I don't really know what my problem is, but it's 400 and some pages. So anyway, accepting any and all votes for Redeeming Love. Next, we have Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This has an average rating on Goodreads of 4.05. As you probably know, Marissa Meyer is the author of the Lunar Chronicles, which I have just read through in 2021. I absolutely love the Lunar Chronicles. I can't imagine that I wouldn't love this one. I think it is a standalone, and I believe it is a retelling of the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. So yeah, and I forgot to say, this is a YA fantasy published in November of 2016. The Goodreads blurb does say, long before she was the terror of Wonderland, the infamous Queen of Hearts, she was just a girl who wanted to fall in love. And the flap says, Catherine may be one of the most desired girls in Wonderland and a favorite of the unmarried king, but her interests lie elsewhere. A talented baker, she wants to open a shop and create delectable pastries. But for her mother, such a goal is unthinkable for a woman who could be a queen. At a royal ball where Kath is expected to receive the king's marriage proposal, she meets handsome and mysterious Jest. For the first time, she feels the pull of true attraction. At the risk of offending the king and infuriating her parents, she and Jest enter into a secret courtship. Kath is determined to choose her own destiny, but in a land thriving with magic, madness, and monsters, fate has other plans. So just reading that, like, how have I not picked this up yet? I don't know. If my count is not off, we've got book 8. This is Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. This is the Robert Langdon series, book 1. This book has an average rating on Goodreads of 3.92 and classifies as an adult mystery thriller, published in May of 2000. So a little bit of history about me and Robert Langdon. I read Da Vinci Code. Up until I went and looked this book up on Goodreads to do this video, I thought this was the second book. I was wrong, and I think I know why I was wrong, because in researching the movies, which I have seen, so we're talking about the Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons, Da Vinci Code actually came out before Angels and Demons. So we're talking Da Vinci Code came out in 2006, Angels and Demons came out in 2009. So not my fault. The back says, world-renowned Harvard symbologist Robert Langdon is summoned to a Swiss research facility to analyze a cryptic symbol seared into the chest of a murdered physicist. What he discovers is unimaginable: a deadly vendetta against the Catholic Church by a centuries old underground organization, the Illuminati. In a desperate race to save the Vatican from a powerful time bomb, Langdon joins forces in Rome with the beautiful and mysterious scientist Vittoria Vetra. Together they embark on a frantic hunt through sealed crypts, dangerous catacombs, and deserted cathedrals, and into the depths of the most secretive vault on Earth, the long-forgotten Illuminati lair. So I will mention this about this book and about the 2 books that are coming up next. These are ones that I have seen the movie, and I feel like when I have seen the movie, it makes it really, really hard for me to pick up the book afterward, because I'm like, I know that story. So yeah, I think you can probably relate. As a general rule, I prefer to read the book before I watch the movie, and this is exactly why, because the books are generally better, and once you've watched the movie, you kind of spoil the book for yourself. So anyway, I still have, loving feelings toward this book. I still know it could be amazing. So yeah, I'm torn about picking it up. Next, we've got The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. This has a average rating of 3.94 on Goodreads. This, I believe, is her debut novel. Mystery thriller, was published in January of 2015. The inside flap says, every day the same. Rachel takes the same commuter train every morning and night. Every day she rattles down the track, flashes past a stretch of cozy suburban homes, and stops at the signal that allows her to daily watch the same couple breakfasting on their deck. She looks forward to it. She's even started to feel like she knows them. Jess and Jason, she calls them. Their life, as she sees it, is perfect, not unlike the life she recently lost. Until today. And then she sees something shocking. It's only a minute until the train moves on, but it's enough. Now everything's changed. Unable to keep it to herself, Rachel goes to the police. But is she really as unreliable as they say? Soon she is deeply entangled not only in the investigation, but in the lives of everyone involved. Has she done more harm than good? Compulsively readable, The Girl on the Train is an emotionally immersive, Hitchcockian thriller and an electrifying debut. So yeah, you can see, especially with this one, with it being a mystery thriller, I've seen the movie, not necessarily recently, but with anything like this, like once you know the twist, how do you unknow it? So anyway, ugh. And finally, we've got Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. This is book 1 in the Twilight saga. It has an average rating on Goodreads of 3.62. So, little background. I missed the original Twilight train. I did not watch the Twilight movies until I was an adult, and then I binge watched them. I really was just fascinated. So I have this book. I think I picked it up at a little free library. I featured it in a past haul video, but it's just been sitting there. So again, I either need to read this thing or I need to give it to someone else that can enjoy it. And I meant to say this is YA fantasy, published in October of 2005. The back says, about 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was a vampire. Second, there was a part of him, and I didn't know how dominant that part might be, that thirsted for my blood. And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him. In the first book of the Twilight Saga, internationally best-selling author Stephanie Meyer introduces Bella Swan and Edward Cullen, a pair of star-crossed lovers whose forbidden relationship ripens against the backdrop of small-town suspicion and a mysterious coven of vampires. This is a love story with bite. So, yeah, I've got to decide if I'm reading this or if I'm just going to be a fan of the movies. So that concludes my These 10 Books Will Self-Destruct in 12 Months video. Again, please let me know in the comments if there are any of these books that I absolutely need to save from self-destruction that absolutely need to make it onto my TBR. And opposite that, if there are any of these that you know that I should not bother with, please let me know that as well. I'm curious, have you guys made any videos similar to this? Do you have any other videos similar to this that you could refer me to? Are there any books on your TBR that are set to expire? Or yeah, that's what I mean. Are there any books on your TBR that are set to expire? And how are you feeling about it? To me, it's hard, and I've heard other booktubers say the same thing, that it's hard to get rid of books or unhaul books that you've not read without giving them a chance. So I definitely relate to that. If you have not already, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as it helps my channel. And I will see you very, very soon with another video. Bye.